Your card gets declined for a $6 sandwich. The cashier tries it again. Same red message. There are 4 people behind you. You pretend the card is damaged. It is not. Your account has almost nothing in it. You put the sandwich back and walk outside hungry. That night, your car makes a noise you have never heard before. The mechanic calls the next morning. The repair costs more than you have. For the first time, you realize the problem is not that you need more money. The problem is that every small surprise can control your life. You decide that has to end. Your first version of financial freedom is not glamorous. It is saying no to takeout for 3 months. It is driving the same car even after the mechanic fixes it. It is opening your banking app every morning and moving a little money before you can spend it. The first week feels pointless. The second week feels annoying. Then one Tuesday, your phone slips out of your hand and the screen shatters. You stare at it, waiting for the familiar panic. It never comes. You have enough to replace it, not enough to feel rich, enough to stop a broken phone from ruining your month. That tiny feeling is addictive, so you keep going. You cancel things you forgot you were paying for. You sell a camera you have not used in 2 years. You pick up a Saturday shift you hate. Your friends think you are becoming boring. You think you are buying something they cannot see yet. Time. A year later, your boss sends a message at 6:04 on a Friday. He needs you to come in Saturday. Normally, you would say yes before he finishes typing. This time, you look at your account first. You have months of expenses sitting there. You type, "I can't tomorrow." 3 words. Your heart pounds like you just quit your job. He replies with a thumbs up. Nothing happens. The building does not collapse. You do not get fired. You spend Saturday helping a friend move instead. On the drive home, you understand the next version of freedom. Money is starting to buy you the right to say no. So now you want more of that right. You start investing automatically. Every payday, money leaves before you can touch it. Most months are boring. Then the market drops hard. Your account loses more in a week than you normally save in 2 months. You almost stop the transfers. Instead, you leave them alone. A few months later, the market recovers. You learn that freedom is not just having money. It is not panicking every time the number moves. Then, your job becomes the thing that moves. Your company restructures. Your manager calls you into a room with someone from HR. You already know what is coming. Your role is gone. Years ago, this would have been an emergency. Now it is a problem. There is a difference. You go home, make coffee, and do absolutely nothing for 2 hours. No frantic applications. No desperate phone calls. No asking anyone for money. The next morning, you apply for 3 jobs you actually want instead of 30 jobs you hate. One of them offers less money but better hours. You take it. Your friends think you are moving backward. You know you just bought back every evening. With those evenings, you start something small online. At first, it barely pays for dinner. Then it pays your phone bill. Then your rent. One night, you realize your side income has quietly become big enough to cover your basic life. You sit at the kitchen table, staring at the screen. Nobody knows anything has changed, but Monday morning suddenly feels optional. You do not quit on Monday. That surprises even you. Instead, you wait. You want to know whether the income is real or just lucky. 3 months pass, then 6. The business keeps working. Your investments keep growing in the background. Your job keeps paying you too. For the first time, 3 different things are carrying your life at once. Then your landlord announces a rent increase. Old you would have complained for a week. New you opens a spreadsheet for 5 minutes and closes it. You can afford it. But you move anyway, not because you have to, because you do not want to pay for something you do not value. That is another strange upgrade. At the beginning, freedom meant being able to afford the bill. Now it means being able to walk away from the bill. Eventually, you do the same thing with your job. You schedule a meeting with your manager. You expect your voice to shake. It does not. You resign. He offers more money. For the first time in your life, more money is not automatically the best answer. You say no. Working for yourself feels like freedom for exactly 3 days. On day 4, a payment processor freezes your account. On day 5, your biggest customer asks for a refund. On day 6, you discover that the laptop charger you need has vanished somewhere inside your apartment. Financial freedom has apparently not solved stupid problems, but now the problems are yours. You fix the payment issue, you refund the customer, you buy another charger, the business grows. You hire help, then more help. Years pass faster than you expected. One afternoon, a larger company asks if you would ever sell. You laugh and say probably not. They send an offer anyway. The number on the page is large enough that you read it twice. You do not accept. They come back higher. You still do not accept. Then they add something you care about more than the last increase. You can walk away completely. No long handover. No staying for years. Just a clean exit. You sign. On the morning the money arrives, you're standing in a grocery store deciding between two brands of coffee. Your phone vibrates, the balance changes. Your life does not. For a while, you think that is the final version of freedom. No boss, no debt that scares you. Enough invested that work is optional. Then wealth keeps compounding. You buy pieces of businesses instead of products from them. You buy property you do not need to live in. You back people you trust. You say no to most opportunities. That becomes more important than saying yes. A decade after the declined sandwich, the total value of what you own crosses $100 million. The number should feel unbelievable. Instead, you are irritated because the Wi-Fi in your house keeps dropping. That is when you finally understand the joke. At zero, money controls almost every decision. At the first emergency fund, it controls fewer. When your investments can carry you, work becomes a choice. When your business can carry you, location becomes a choice. When the number becomes huge, almost everything becomes a choice. Except time. You still get one day at a time. You still cannot buy back the Saturday you spent scared of your boss. You still cannot buy back the years you were too busy to notice going by. So the biggest number creates a smaller question. What are you actually free to do now? The answer is not buy more stuff. You already tried that a few times. The excitement lasts about a week. The answer is much quieter. You stop taking calls from people you do not want to work with. You stop attending meetings that exist only because nobody wants to make a decision. You take a Tuesday off because the weather is good. You help someone you care about without checking your account first. You leave a bad deal before it becomes your problem. And sometimes you buy the $6 sandwich without looking at the balance. That is the part nobody puts on the thumbnail. Financial freedom does not arrive when the number gets impressive. It arrives in pieces. First, a broken phone stops being a crisis. Then a boss stops controlling your weekend. Then a paycheck stops controlling your choices. Eventually, money stops being the loudest thing in the room. You started with almost nothing. You ended with more than you ever expected. But the best part was never the $100 million. It was every small moment when money lost the power to tell you what you had to do next.